愛のないセックスはただのプロレスだ。
Hey everyone, and welcome to the latest episode of A Plus Wrestling here on A Plus Productions. It has been quite the week in pro wrestling and quite the weekend for WWE, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and so much more. We're going to be talking about all of that here on this week's episode. I am Boris, and as always, I am joined by Hutch. Hutch, how's it going?
It is going great, Boris. I am so busy, and I was just talking to you about the morning I had today. Like, man, I wish you too. I know you had a hell of a weekend outside of like wrestling stuff and baseball stuff. You had a lot of personal things, especially in the last 24 hours. So I bet you wish the same thing. I wish I could clone myself. If I had another me, which would be annoying for a lot of people, I'm sure, but it would be great for me, especially if I got along with the other me, which often you don't get along with people like yourself. But we should contact Tony Khan, get the L-Clone. The L-Clone technology, like in Star Wars, they have like the tubes, right? That's how they remade the Emperor. We've got to get the clone technology. Although I'm afraid, did you ever see Alien Resurrection, where they had the multiple?
I did.
Yeah, they were trying to clone Ripley from her dead body, and they had the multiple monster versions of her in the tanks.
Yep.
That's what would
exactly.
be. I bet you Tony Khan has an underground bunker filled with all these deformed Ares L-Clones. It's the same place where they woke up. Luchasaurus. That's the same facility. That's where Jack was, where they've got the L-Clones, and I bet you they've got some monstrosities down there. But I'm willing to negotiate. My clone doesn't have to be perfect as long as it's partially functional. And I can get it to do the slave labor stuff, just clean.
Exactly.
All the
work.
tie my shoes.
The bullshit work. The bullshit work.
The minutia that drives you nuts. Yes.
Exactly.
Listen, I'm on hold with Bell. You're on hold, and when they come back, say yes, and then signal me. I'll come back and I'll do the grunt work with figuring out the bill. But you're still me technically, right? By law, can you have, or would it be my clone? Yeah. Do clones? We'll get to that point somewhere. Do clones have status? Or are they just slave? Is he a real person?
That's an ethical question and a conversation for another fucking day. Man, it's been crazy. It's been crazy.
Let's talk wrestling.
Let's talk wrestling. Let's get right into this. We have a lot to talk about this week, so let's just jump right in. Saturday night's main event.
The Android versus clone debate for future, am I going to have an Android when I'm old, or am I going to have a clone? What do you think? What's better? What's cheaper? What's better? Look at stocks for the future. What should I invest in? But yeah, okay, wrestling. Sorry, buddy.
God damn it. Focus. Saturday night's main event happened this past weekend for an interesting show, to say the least. Let's talk about the show as a whole. Were you able to watch it? I kind of know part of this story, but let's expand on that a little bit.
Well, the story was I had family stuff, father-in-law's birthday. Everybody's there's a bunch of men there that are annoyed they're not being able to see the game or listening to the game. Get home, start watching the game. It goes long, as we know. And right at the end of the game, my good buddy Ron texts me. He's like, hey, we're talking the game in the last innings, and as it's going into extra innings and whatnot, and somewhere in our text, he's just like, bam, here's the results of Saturday night's main event. And I was like, oh, dude, I haven't watched yet. I guess he had assumed I'd watched before, because I told him I only just started watching the game halfway through. I guess he assumed I was watching Saturday night's main event and then started watching the game. I didn't tell him about that. So he told me all the results. So I went in already seeing it, but I did watch, and I don't know. The most exciting part of a Jey Uso match is the fear of whether or not he's going to actually win or not. Please, God, don't win. So, I didn't have that fear. That was gone, right? I knew what was going to happen. But is the Uso experiment over, pal? What do you think?
So that's exactly one of the points I wanted to make. So let's just jump right into that. Is the Uso experiment over? No, I think that they are still fully committed in him as a singles wrestler. I think what we're seeing now is a possible shift, based on his the way he carried himself in the match, the tweets or the Instagram posts after, where he kind of put up the middle finger and said, one or something like that. That was kind of good. Right? I kind of like that. Let's see what he does as a heel. Let's give him one more chance. Can he pull off a heel persona? I know that there's a lot of people listening on this show right now already probably saying no. But Hutch, what do you think? Can he pull off a heel persona?
Oh, totally. Like we were already talking about how he's like a bit of a whiny bitch. We don't like him. He's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like,
Right?
of course he can pull it off. And he was a heel for a long time as part of the bloodline. Like, think about when like Sammy, he was Sammy's buddy, and Roman doesn't like how buddy he is with Sammy, and then they bring Sammy in, and then when Sammy, I think, did the super kick or did the betrayal, like it was Jey who was the most upset right away. Like, you know, and like he got mad for a while. Like that's
Yeah.
Jay's not going to be the dominant king type of heel like Roman, who's like, you know, I think they like pretended Roman was insecure. Like they had to kind of feed you the storyline of like, is Roman losing control? But he always, you could tell he always was in control. They could really pull off that Jey as the head of the bloodline, and then is he losing control? Because he comes across as like weak-minded in a lot of ways.
That's
Like, he can pull that off.
And I think that would be a
not
great character. I think that's a great character, especially for heel. A heel, just remember, heel, you have there's various dimensions to a heel, right? You have the dominant heel, and then you have the shitbag heels. And I think he can be a great shitbag heel and just lean into the hate that the internet wrestling community is giving you. It'll be interesting to see what happens, even starting tonight on Raw. We'll see. We'll see. Look. I'm open to anything. It's pro wrestling. I watch it for entertainment. I watch it to be sports entertained. I watch it to forget about the real life, the minutiae of the real life bullshit that happens. So you know what?
And then here we
Let's
are
give it a shot,
dealing with the minutiae
right?
of wrestling and like analyzing it. No.
Exactly.
But okay,
exactly.
I think it's more than just those two heels. It's not the shitbag heel.
No.
It's not the Dom Eddie Guerrero heel, and it's not even the coward heel. Like he can create his own kind of new heel. It's like Comatus from like Gladiator, like the man who is king but knows he is weak and has no confidence. It's like when Richard III comes in place of Richard II, and Richard III is like, he's not a leader. He's like a wafy beta male, and now he's in charge. And like, except, you know, in that, you know, Jey will want to be in charge, think he's in charge. Where's my respect? I need my respect. But he doesn't respect others, and he takes shortcuts to keep that. Like, there's a lot there. You know, I was talking about my whole, what if Sammy wins the Rumble? How do you make people not hate him? You have him lose at WrestleMania and go through this like weird internal struggle where he's like cheating and being a dickhead, but thinks that he needs to do that to get ahead because like, I'm getting what I deserve. I deserve this. And it's like, well, you did until you started being a dick. Like, that's Jey. Jey's going to be like, this is me. I deserve this. And it's like, oh, hey, yeah, you know, you did last year when you choked out Gunther and you were working hard and we were all behind you. But now you're kind of a dick, bro. You know, so I think he can be a new type of heel.
I like that. I like
But another thing, you know, CM Punk, during his period of time of not wrestling, one of the things he had said, at least more than once on his Instagrams, I think that's where he does most of his, he does like the picture that's like a bunch of letters instead of he doesn't have a Twitter. He does those posts. He was like, you don't know me. You don't know this guy. Do I have an opinion on this? Not really, because I don't know him. I know what the media has told me. I know what the story is. But as somebody that's in the media, I know that the story is usually not the story. So I don't know that person. So I don't have a hard judgment or opinion on this story. I don't know Jey Uso. I don't know if the freaking, hey, let's go doing the tribal dance thing, or if the fucking whiny heel and my brother, like, what is the real Jey Uso? Jey Uso's probably a cool dude. He's probably nothing like the whiny guy we know. So he has already been pulling it off, if I'm correct. So he could probably pull off anything. They probably have a lot of confidence in him in a lot of ways. Even though he's not the best in-ring worker, they must have put him here for some reason. Right?
Let's just remember this. In WWE especially, you don't have to be the best in-ring worker. At the end of the day, can you pull off the character that they are giving you? That is the most important thing in WWE.
Look at all the champions right now. Jade Cargill is not the best worker. CM Punk is not the best worker. He's all bravado and promo. And Cody Rhodes, even though he's pretty damn good in the ring these days, dude, I did not think Cody Rhodes was a very good wrestler when he was like first coming out. Like those moonsaults off the top and the springboard kicks and all this stuff. I thought it wasn't his bag. And I'm like, he's trying to be a wrestler. He isn't. And I didn't think he was that great, but I've been proven wrong. I might even apply the word great to Cody Rhodes.
We'll touch on that in a little bit. Let's stick with the Jey Uso CM Punk stuff for now. So we talked some Jey Uso. CM Punk is now the world heavyweight champion. Hutch, not only did he get the clean win, which I think leads into Jey Uso's heel character, heel transformation, but what's next for CM Punk? Is he going to continue a program with Jey Uso, or who would you throw at Punk's way at this point?
You know, the stuff that I was going to say about Jade Cargill, I guess could apply here. Punk winning in Utah, world championship instead of WWE championship. I mean, it's great and all, but I don't think it's what we all wanted. He had the injuries. He could have, when they first brought him in, they could have had a clean climb to a big moment. But this didn't happen. And I guess Seth would have probably won if it was Seth, right? They would have gone over. They wouldn't have had him lose again to CM Punk. This would have been his thing. I just beat Cena. Now I beat Punk. I'm the world champ. I've got my vision. Like, that's, I think, where they were going with this. So out of nowhere, I don't know what they're going to do with Punk, but they've got War Games coming up. Then you've got the Rumble. You can give Punk a couple of Monday Night Raw, defenses. He can defend against Uso again, maybe at Saturday Night's Main Event coming up. I don't think this is going to be an intense reign for Punk. But what next might be, I guess, Braun Breaker? Because I don't think it's going to be the Rumble winner. I think the Rumble's going to be Sammy. And I mean, I guess he could go for Punk. Punk and Sammy would have some pretty good promos. So, yeah, maybe it's the Rumble winner, which I think will be Sammy. But probably Sammy or Braun, I guess.
Immediately speaking, you think that it's going to be Braun Breaker. I think it's going to be Braun Breaker. I think that, to me, makes the most sense. I think that CM Punk and Braun would pull off a half-decent match. And I think that Braun Breaker, he's kind of like being earmarked as the future. So, sure, let's do that. So that is CM Punk. Well, go ahead.
They had him go over LA Knight, right? So
exactly.
It's not going to be LA Knight. They take a while, but remember, this isn't Vince McMahon. This isn't fans of wrestling. This is corporate, right? Why did Cody Rhodes win against Drew? This is all like corporate stuff now. So they're going to look at the bottom line in a different way than fans do. So who's going to be facing him next? If it's Braun, do they want Braun to lose? As a Booker guy, I'm like, don't give him Braun, have Braun come in and take it from him right away. So now Punk's got another shit reign. Do we have Punk beat him? So now Braun's been shat on. What are we trying to do? I say use what Adam's been doing, Adam Pearce, keep him away from Punk for a while. Give him something else to do until the Rumble or until Elimination Chamber. Make him the WrestleMania opponent somehow. But if you pull the trigger too soon, I don't know. Right now they're in a holding pattern. They were expecting this to be Seth, right? Having it on Punk for a while and giving him a bit of a reign might be your safest bet, just until you can build something for Mania. I don't know.
Well, that's the thing, right? We're in that season now where, the Mania thoughts, the Mania programs, I'm not going to say are starting to take shape, but you got to start thinking into that season, which is just around the corner. We're already in November, we got Survivor Series, and then really the next big thing is Royal Rumble, which is WrestleMania season. So not that far away, but I do like your idea of keeping them away. Because that is right now, I think that might be the big match on the Raw side of things, Punk and Breaker. So do you want to spoil
it's always
it
an
quickly,
exciting time,
or do you want
year.
to build it up into something that makes money?
Honestly, I don't really know what they're going to do. I started to, foolishly, once again, I started to think what I wanted to happen. I wanted there to be a schmoz here and no winner. And I wanted them to, go, I wanted them, the Brawns to come in and screw it all up. And part of me, the evil part of me kind of wanted Uso to win and watch the, IWC and Twitter, freak out or, what is going on? And maybe him heel out to win, maybe finally take that step we're talking about, where he, and he can be conflicted about it. It doesn't, he sees the opportunity, and just like he did with his brother, throwing him over the top rope in the Battle Royal, it's that's the, WWE is very simple. And there's a lot of kids watching, and they like to be simple. So they might be like, hey, this is the same thing that he did in the Battle Royal. Jey took his opportunity, and there he rolled up Punk, he got the win, and now he's the new world champ. And I don't think they're going to not give it to Jey. You said who's next, and I was talking Braun. I don't, we started this whole thing by saying, is the Jey Uso experiment over? And you said no. No, they're probably going to put the title on him at some point, and maybe as a heel, and maybe as a conflicted moment where he heels out to win, or where he full on turns heel and then has a different attitude, just like Jade Cargill. I have a different attitude. I'm coming in. I'm going to kick some ass. So who knows? But as weirdly as this was kind of blasé as it happened, Punk in Utah lifting his title after beating Jey Uso, I'm hoping that they can make it exciting in some fashion, because I don't know what's going to happen. So that's what they got to lean on.
There we go. Let us talk about another title that changed hands, and that is the Women's WWE Championship. Jade Cargill is your new champion. She beat Tiffany Stratton in quite the dominant performance, really focused on the knee and the leg. It's being reported that Tiffany Stratton's going to take a little bit of time off because of nagging injuries, especially to her knee. So, same question. Now what? Now what do we do with Jade Cargill?
Well, I mean, that's what I was going to say was all that CM Punk stuff. I mean, Jade Cargill, I don't think she's ready to be the world champ, but she looks good. They put her over the right way. This is how you put over a dominant heel. And she doesn't have a lot on her plate coming up. She can be slotted into the War Games, hold her title up, be dominant, whatever. She can coast through into Royal Rumble. She probably won't be defending the title there. Maybe she will against like a lower card person or something, but you get where I'm coming from. Like the Rumble's not focused on the champions, Elimination Chamber. She can make it all the way to Mania and get her Bianca Belair moment. Belair returns at the Rumble. You know, I've been thinking so much about Sammy and being in Saudi. Who's going to win the Women's Rumble? I mean, Belair, she's won it before, obviously, but she could come back, win the Rumble, go after Jade. But they could obviously do it a million different ways because she already has a built-in story, so she doesn't need to win the Rumble. But I think it's going to be her. What else are you going to do with Jade? Have her go over a few people, especially people that can make her look good in the ring with this new heel persona, like bump for her hard. Because I've had enough of Nia Jax as our big women like heater monster. Like let's move Nia Jax on. And let's get Jade Cargill in there, because if we're going to have somebody that's not the best worker and is a great big gal kicking ass, let's put Jade Cargill in there as our not a great worker who is a great big gal kicking ass, because she's a little nicer to look at, and at least it's something different. You know, no offense. I like big girls. You know, Nia, you're fine. Sorry, I know you're not watching, but hey, I don't want to offend anybody. But we need something new. And this slick back hair, kick your ass, squash match, basically. Was this a squash as far as you're concerned? 5 minutes.
I think so. I think it was a very dominant win.
5 minutes of in-ring action.
I'll
I don't know
use
if that includes entrances, but I think a Tiff maybe get 30 seconds to 60 seconds of that. It was mostly Jade. She put her away hard, power bomb right into her finish, like pump handle, lots of power moves. It's like they've decided. It's like Paul Heyman talked to someone, was like, "Hey guys, I got an idea. Let's do this the right way." And they're like, "Let's give her like half a dozen big power moves. Let's get her in and out nice and quick. No more tag matches. No more triple threats. No more this and that. Let's just smash her over like Vader in Japan. Let's smash her over like Goldberg. Let's smash her over like Brock. Let's get her in there. She's this great big huge Amazon that's amazing and is so talented and is so beautiful and all the things you keep telling us she is. This is a great way to make it that way, right? That's what wrestling is. So cater the product to her.
That's literally exactly.
I can get behind this Jade Cargill, and you know I'm not a Cargill fan.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's something that WWE does fairly well for the most part, is take someone like a Jade Cargill, kind of hide the fact that she's not the best worker, yada yada yada, and propel her into superstardom, and that's essentially what they're going to need to do. Especially, it's. I like the fact that she's turned heel, and now it's just like, let's see what happens. It'll be very interesting there.
All right. Hey, was there any botches? Was there any botches in this match?
No, I don't think so.
And it's hard to say that on a Cargill match. Like even like not even a straight botch. Like sometimes just footwork and timing and like pauses and like second guessing that you can see in the ring, but it still kind of goes smoothly, but you're like, okay, it wasn't that smooth. Like that wasn't someone who's like lives and breathes in the ring every day. This is someone who's still kind of green, but got it done. I didn't see any of that. She was like, I'm going to kick your ass. This is what we're doing. They probably went through the match too, but I know you want to move on, but we haven't talked about Tiffy. I think she had an okay reign. It's too bad she only had a couple people to defend against. It was mostly like Nia and like, I don't know what, but weirdly, it was a shit reign because they like nerfed her. Like I've been wanting to talk about this for a while. I actually went back and watched a couple of NXT things. I did a watch along with a buddy, and like what happened to Tiffany Stratton? Like corkscrew moonsaults and like freaking flying like Jeff Hardy moves, like the row and swinging down like Naito and smashing them in the face with her feet and rolling back. She had all these moves. Like she is fully nerfed. Like is this knee really screwed? Has it been screwed for months and she's just been taking it easy in the ring?
That's what they're saying. That's what they've been saying.
Yeah,
that's what they've been saying. But also look at the people she faced in that time, the Becky Lynches of the world, right? Like, how can you have a bad match against Becky Lynch? At the same time, having said that, counter argument. I love how I'm kind of arguing myself. You know, the fact that she can pull off those moves is a testament to itself, right?
Yeah,
But
but I think if you went online, people would say she had a bad reign, and it's not because she's
oh,
a bad wrestler.
100%.
It's like they kind of gave her bad stuff. They didn't give her anything, you know. Like
They gave her
it's like
tag team
Julia. I keep
matches.
forgetting Julia exists. She's got a Drew Dean Ambrose style U.S. title reign here. I forget she's around, and 8 months from now they're gonna have her lose to someone, and I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, who's this again? You know, like
Right?
crazy. They kind of did
Yeah,
that to Tiffany a
it's
bit.
very honestly Tiffany's biggest, probably best match would be against Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania, and
Totally.
that was all the other things that happened around that.
Mhm. All right, now you can move on. Go on. I know you're dying to move on.
No, I'm just reading something,
I'm
just some work stuff happening. All
I'm
right,
just
so let
joking
us
around.
talk about Dominik Mysterio, one of the, if not the best character right now in WWE and AAA, adored in Mexico, maybe only second to El Gran Americano in Mexico at this point, which is a whole other issue that we're going to talk
I
about.
love it. I love
Not
it. I
issue.
love it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. But Dominik Mysterio, still IC champion. Man, he is flourishing and growing up in front of our eyes. How much longer until he is world champion?
I don't know. He's great. Would it be? I guess it would be babyface world champion. I don't know. Dom gives us all that warm, fuzzy feeling for some reason. We like it. A lot of people have been upset. Like, he can't just, like, I realize, I'm on Twitter and I realize, okay, this person's probably like 16 or 14 or something. Because they're like, I don't like that he's cheating all the time, this and this and that. And it's like, he's not really cheating. He's cheating because that's just the finish of the match. It's like, Dom's a good wrestler. You got to think of it like a booker. Like, what's the finish of this match? The finish is Dom cheating. It's not because that's the only way he can win. Like, he's a good wrestler and his character's over. And right now, the Eddie stuff is the character. And like, I don't know, it's great. Like, all of these coming up with all these interesting ways to win that in some ways are just, some of them are old Eddie things, some of them are slightly new things. But dude, he is so over. And yeah, he'll be world champ one day. But where are you going with this? Are you going to talk about, everybody seems to be talking about how Dom should be Cena's last opponent. What do you think of this?
Nah, I don't think so. I don't think it should be. I think sure, give him a match at Survivor Series, whatever. It is San Diego. Cena, Dom, San Diego would be very interesting on paper. I'm not sure if they want to give Cena the title to make his last match kind of quote unquote mean more. I don't think it needs a title. I don't think that should happen. But yeah, I think yeah, it'll be very interesting to see what they do with Dom. Like I've been a fan honestly since day one. There was always something about him. There was always something about his character work, especially when he went heel, that I was always very very intrigued on. Now we're seeing it, and the crowds, right? Like at some point, it's going to be to the point where you cannot even keep him as a heel. You won't be able to keep him as a heel, and we're close to that point, if not already there.
Yeah. Uh, I, sorry, my phone rang and it like completely blocked out my headphones. It started ringing there. I can't believe it. So annoyed by that. Um, yeah, like Dom, everybody loves him. He's definitely gonna, like, can you imagine this was the kid and now he's got so much confidence and it comes through now. And like, I like that he's like kind of skinny and it all really works. But where I was pushing there for a minute is that a lot of people want it to be Cena, Dom taking on Cena, or Cena getting the Grand Slam, getting the IC title. I'm like, I do not understand why people are like, this is such a conversation.
Yeah, you know
I
what?
want to say people are
Hold on
obsessed.
one
But
second. To that point, what I love about the internet wrestling community and wrestling fans in general is this. It's all about nostalgia. It's all about moments. Everyone complains about bullshit like that. But let's give Cena that IC title. Like, the point counterpoint that wrestling fans have just kills me and makes me laugh sometimes.
it's just, sometimes I don't understand that fans can't understand how wrestling works sometimes. Yeah, Cena versus Dom would be really super fun. And WWE does not know how to have fun these days. Sometimes, we were saying the Bronze should have interfered at the end and made it a schmoz, and then we should do something else. Like, I feel like everything's cut and paste, like it's like Cody winning everything. Like, I feel like they don't know how to have fun anymore. But that match should be fun. Dom against Cena, but it would not be good. First of all, Cena does not need the IC title. And the last thing you want to do in Cena's last match is have ambiguous fan reaction. You want to have them booing Dom? You want to have them booing Cena? Like, what the hell's wrong with you people? Like, they let them have an interaction maybe in some fashion. Maybe if he's in the tournament. This is like, I feel like this tournament was announced months ago because we were talking about it like 2 months ago.
It
I
was
guess now they've officially
talked
announced it.
about, but never announced formally on TV. It was talked about like in the internet, but never made official on TV or anything like that.
All right. Well, before we talk about Cody and Drew, let's talk about the announcement of the tournament. And a lot of people think that Dom should be in the tournament. I don't. Or that Dom should win the tournament. I don't. But here's what I think should happen, especially with him saying it's going to maybe be people from SmackDown and NXT and maybe people that aren't even signed to the company. And everybody's thinking all kinds of asinine stuff. It is not going to be Edge. It is not going to be Chris Jericho. They're certainly not coming in to be part of a tournament where one of them might lose. Like, give me a break. It's not happening at all. At best, you're going to get Joe Hendry. And at Pipe Dream, you might get Matt Cardona. And you might get Matt Cardona on one of the 2 Raws that Cena is going to be on before his final match. So they can have an interaction. And like Cena's like opening match of the tournament. We don't even know who it is. Boom, Matt Cardona. Oh my God, Cena talks to him, hugs him. They talk in the ring for a second. I'm going to be at ringside, but who's your opponent going to be? Boom, Gunther's music hits. Oh, Gunther's returning too. The opening match of the tournament. We had no idea who these 2 competitors were going to be. It's Cardona against Gunther. Gunther, kicks the crap out of Cardona. We don't even have to give him anything, man. We can. It'll be fun. But, kick the shit out of Cardona. And then we never see him again, even though we all really want to. That would be classic WWE. And then, Gunther's like, yo, Cena, I'm coming for you. I'm going to root. The last thing anybody's going to ever remember you is me over your broken body. Your legacy's going to be nothing but me. And then they'll ruin the whole tournament right from the opening match. That is all classic WWE right there. Other than the fact that they're not cool enough to have enough fun for it to actually be Cardona. It'll be like Austin Theory or somebody. But I can see all that happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know, but I'm maintaining. I've said it for months. It's going to be Gunther. Makes the most sense for it to be Gunther. And
Cena's on 2 Raws between now and the end of the tournament. And I would assume they're going to have a lot of these matches on Raw. Maybe Raw and SmackDown, maybe NXT. They might have a match. 2 NXT guys. Who's going to move ahead? Who knows? But I would like Cena, anytime there's somebody cool in the tournament, Cena should be there to interact with them. Because we're not going to get the Dom against Cena match. So Cena should be able to interact with him. Maybe Cena should be at ringside for all these matches. And Dom can have an interaction. He can interact with Cardona. He can interact with whatever person they want to put in the tournament. Because you're only going to get 1 match. It ain't going to be Edge. Ain't going to be Jericho. Ain't going to be Dom. Most likely it's going to be Gunther, because that's a way of putting Gunther in a main event place without having him chase after Punk or chase after this or chase after that. There's another person, Punk, we were talking about. There's a lot they can do. Like I was saying, not knowing what's happening is what they should be leaning on right now, is the whole who could it be. They could even have some kind of match where, I don't know. There's enough tournaments going on. That's why they had to put the title on Punk. And they couldn't do something fun because they already got this other tournament planned. They can't have another tournament. This isn't Tony Khan. This is Triple H. So, anyways.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, Gunther, boom. Let's move on. Cody Rhodes over Drew McIntyre. This is the one result where I'm just like, you really should have given it to Drew. What's next for Cody? Is his reign now just coasting until WrestleMania at this point? I just don't. I'm racking my head trying to think what's next for Cody. Nothing stands out for me. Nothing seems fun for me. I don't know. What do you do?
This is
what
another
do you do with Cody?
Corporate side of things. I'd like to think that they know Drew McIntyre needs to win this title. Cody's always better chasing. He's been a champ for a long time since he's first got the title. So he's better chasing. You can't completely kill off Drew with another loss to Cody in some fashion, and they will probably fight coming up. But you're looking at Saturday night's main event. It's not a major PLE. It's only 4 matches. They only just skirted it not being on NBC, and I don't think ESPN is a big moneymaker for them. And so I don't know. I don't think it's the spot they wanted to do this. They're already putting a title on Jade. They're already being forced to put a title on Punk instead of having him lose to Seth Rollins. So they could have given it to Drew here, except we can't have all 3 titles go. And
why
now
not?
It's just not you have a point. Why not? but I think that's just not what they would do. They're saying we can't have all three change. And me thinking that they were going to change it here, I should have known better. As soon as they put in the stipulation where Drew's like, no, I need this stipulation. I need this stipulation. I should have known they were going to use that stipulation somehow against him, because now, I mean, you got boo-hoo Drew. Drew got screwed. I got screwed again. Oh, he hit me with the title. It was illegal. You know, they can get another match out of this, and all he has to do is go over hard. And if they have him lose again, then he needs a total revamp. He needs to like disappear and like come back as like some kind of like crazy monster or something. But this is, in my opinion, the most talented guy in the company. He's like as big as a mountain. He's awesome on the mic. He's great in the ring. This should be your Hulk Hogan. This should be your Brock Lesnar. This should be your freaking guy who's destroying everybody. I don't understand. And if they don't do it soon, like, I don't get it, man. This guy's going to get old. You know, we talk about LA Knight. Like, he's no spring chicken, man. Let's do this.
Drew can only lose so much before people stop giving a shit, because they're going to know in the back of their head he's going to lose this match. And I think we're almost at that territory, but it's unfortunate, but that's really where he is at this point.
Mm-hmm. I guess that's it. We've done the whole main event. I mean, Cody, it was fun and all, but I don't know. I do like the line of like nice guys finish last until I arrived. And here's another thing. Everybody's like, oh, but he cheated. He's not a nice guy. Shake your head. Hulk Hogan used to poke guys in the eyes and rake people in the back. And like The Rock used to cheat all the time. Like Cody cheating, giving Drew his own comeuppance and taking the stipulation and turning it on his head and using it. It doesn't mean he's bad. Yes, they can use it to like at some point make him like turn heel or whatever. But it's the same thing they did with Kevin Owens earlier this year when he was standing over him all bloody. He's like, you asked for this. Like, Drew, you're in my face. You're the one who brought the title in the ring. You asked for this. Like, Cody's lost. He's the nice guy that doesn't finish last anymore. He's like, screw you. I'm doing my thing, And his thing is like taking the advantage when he has to.
Yep. AEW, let's flip the page to AEW. They have arguably two big shows coming up over the next few weeks. November 12th, which is next Wednesday, we have two Blood and Guts matches, aka War Games. Then later on in the month, we have Full Gear happening, which is interesting split of attention that AEW is doing. But let's talk about this. And I have a question for you, and I've been thinking about this a little bit. We have Blood and Guts on November 12th. We have War Games Survivor Series happening later in the month. Are we going to be War Gamed out by the end of November, or leading into Survivor Series?
Yeah, like I don't remember any of these matches now. I remember the odd spot, but it's weird. I remember like the first Hell in a Cells, and I remember all the like War Games matches from NWA, a lot of them, because they were new and they were fresh, and you'd watch them over and over. All this stuff is just carnage to me, and sometimes it seems forced. Like, do we even know who's going to be in these Blood and Guts matches? Have they announced? I don't know. I don't know why.
Yeah. Blood and Guts. So on the women's side, we have Jamie. On the women's side, we have Jamie Hayter, Queen Aminata, Willow Nightingale, Harley Cameron, Tony Storm, and Chris Statlander versus Julia Hart, Sky Blue, Tekla, Megan Bain, Marina Shafir, and Mercedes Moné.
Yeah, okay, I remember that now. And it's weird that this is happening in the middle of the like tag team tournament as well. Like, because all these ladies are all intertwined with each other. I like that Hart and Sky like kind of won over Hayter and Aminata. I mean, I wanted Hayter and Aminata to like kind of win the whole thing in a way, but I like surprises. AEW knows how to have fun, so there you go. But yeah, it's weird. I don't really want to see all these ladies in this match like beating the crap out of each other and hitting into steel and stuff like that. Like, but if it's gonna happen, but that's a lot of ladies. Is that 7 on each team?
Yep.
You counting it up there? Wow, that's 14 gals in this double steel cage. I sure hope somebody doesn't get hurt. Because as a promoter and somebody that is, wrestlers will tell you the more bodies, the more danger. Battle royals are where you get hurt. When people strain their knees, break a leg, things like that, a lot of times it's the bounce of the ring. Have you ever been on a trampoline and landed at the same time as someone, or just like a second after them as you're bouncing together? Right. And you're like, the ring is very much like that in a lot of ways. Like all these people in the ring running around. It's you in a smart battle royal. You don't see a lot of running the rope spots. If it does, people will back out of the way and give them space. If they're smart, you oftentimes see oblivious people walking into things.
Right.
But I wouldn't want to see anybody get hurt. But I guess I'm looking forward to it. We'll see
Then
what Tony Storm does. I'd like to see when she's covered in blood. It's somehow interesting. I feel like she's invincible. She's like made out of rubber or something. I don't know. I can't remember the last time she was actually injured. But what do we got for
then
the
on
men?
on the
Sorry, go
men's
on.
side, we have Darby Allin, Roderick Strong, Mark Briscoe, Orange Cassidy, and Kyle O'Reilly versus the Death Riders, John Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, Daniel Garcia, and Pac.
And so that's a 5-on-5.
Yep.
Yeah. Is
Yep.
that 5-on-5 there? Yeah.
Yeah. I answered. Yes.
Yeah. Sorry. You nodded, I guess. I don't know if you answered, but yes. We'll cut that out. Yes. Yeah, that'll be fun. That'll be fun. I'm a big Roderick Strong mark, so I'm all into that. But of course, he'll probably lose. They'll lose, right? They've been putting Kyle over pretty hard on Moxley, like at least in the matches, making him look extremely capable and competent. And so this will be a great match. I guarantee you all the best spots are going to come from Kyle and Roddy. Like Roddy's such a beast. Maybe they'll use this. Is anybody out there listening to me? Maybe they'll use this as the catalyst that Roddy like turns on everybody and joins his wife and joins the Death Riders. Like personality wise, he might not be part of it, but like remember back to the Adam stuff. Picture him with like the gray sides and the glasses and Adam and like what's that independent wrestler like Tom Sowell or Sowell, like he's like this like little like wrestler guy. Like just imagine him as like a little beast on all fours and Marina Shafir standing over him like the Steiners, like Scott Steiner and Rick Steiner, and he's part of the and he's like suplexing everybody and tagging up with freaking Claudio and kicking ass while the Wheeler and Daniel are doing their thing now, right? Give Roddy freaking to Claudio. Imagine that as a tag team with Marina Shafir skulking around ringside like my husband, like and he's like a maniac throwing people around like bags of dirt that are twice his size. Like Roddy's such a beast. We were talking about Drew McIntyre being wasted and getting old. I feel like Roddy you could throw another 10 years on him, he'd still be able to kick anybody's ass. Like this guy's
100%.
Like his veins look like steel cables. Like he's one of those guys that are like he's so strong, and so is Claudio. Like they are made from the same kind of mold. Imagine him turning, being like a freaking psycho with his like horn ring glasses, part of the Death Riders. So
At
here's
this
the time
point,
to
sure,
do it.
let's do it. Give him put him there with his wife. Should be good. Would be fun. And I agree with everything that you said there.
Yeah, so either Riders over because they need to get all the heat back that Moxley lost, or Conglomeration over, kind of bringing them up the card a bit instead of them just being the ragtag band of Rugrats, and the Death Riders now losing in a freaking match that's almost like their staple match if they've ever lost one of these or any Stadium Stampede. I don't know. Go back and see which ones they've lost, but this could be the catalyst for what people are saying online, that the Death Riders might be dying and maybe they get rid of, like, who knows. So like once again with AEW, they could go either way. They like to have
They
fun.
can go either way. Both ways work. Both ways work at the end of the day.
Unless
So
they're
like
roster.
I'm good with that. Along with AEW on Collision this past weekend, we had a amazing match. Were you able to watch the Bandito match?
I woke up this morning and I remembered you told me to watch that and I didn't. I'll go watch it after
right.
this. I'll do a watch along maybe with some.
Bandito, Mascara Dorada, amazing.
Yes, I
Frickin'
heard about
match.
that. I'm a big Dorada fan, so.
Yeah. And Bandito is continuing his case for being wrestler of the year. It's almost impossible not to give it to him at this point.
Yeah, like he's completely off the hook, and he's such a nice guy. Like those sequences with his mom, and like getting the sweater football jersey, like in the post show stuff. Like he's just such a sweet dude. And like I was saying before, like I can see him and Brody is really like a sweet teddy bear guy, like reading books with his glasses on and like very nondescript, like outside of the ring. So like I can see how these guys are probably like best freaking buddies. Like I love this tag team, and this is like the fun that AEW likes to have,
Exactly.
is this tag team and then like going with it still, I love it.
Yep. All right,
So,
there we
wait,
go.
wait. Let's talk New Japan, baby.
That's literally where I was going to go. Say we can turn the page on AEW. Let us talk New Japan Pro Wrestling. We are getting closer and closer and closer to Wrestle Kingdom. Hutch, what are your thoughts on what is going on right now with New Japan Pro Wrestling?
Okay, I got to tell you, New Japan, this is the month with all these like War Games matches and Blood and Guts matches and all this chaos. I'm just going to go to New Japan for November because they just finished the Super Junior tag. This event that was Hiroshi Tanahashi's last time in his hometown, and they don't go there very often. It's been like 5 years since they've been there or something. They do go once in a while. But his final event there, Konosuke Takeshita beat Hiroki Goto in a hell of a match, kept the title. Moving forward, probably going to be taking on Yota Tsuji at Wrestle Kingdom, title for the global.
Been announced. Been announced.
Dude, that's going to be great. And he went over Tanahashi in the match before the main event. Super Junior Tag, House of Torture won it. They got every single victory. They came in as tag champs, won every single match, and then won the tournament. It's only happened very, very rarely in New Japan history that happens. And unlike the last time it happened, they just cheated the whole time. It was great. Everybody hates House of Torture. But another reason that New Japan is the place to be in November is they're going to be starting the tag league soon, like the actual tag league. And Super Junior Tag League is fun, and they certainly get weird combinations because they bring in guys from like Dragon Gate and like Noah and all this stuff, and they team them with New Japan stalwarts, and so it's pretty fun. But tag league's going to be off the hook this year, just like every year. It's really kind of like a hidden gem. So if you're looking for some good old-fashioned wrestling, they're going to have it. Plus, they've got all their weird events. They already had the second Taiji Ishimori's Iron Man ridiculousness event where they had the 120-minute battle royal. It was my favorite event this year. In fact, I'm going to do a partial watch along on that as well coming up here. I'm going to get Ronnie on, make him watch that shit with me again. They have another one coming up on the 14th, the third one ever. So they're doing back-to-back this month. And I think on the 16th, House of Torture has like their own event. I know a lot of people are like, House of Torture, yeah, whatever. But like they get to make the rules all night. And so it'll be fun. I'm sick of WWE being cookie cutter. Nothing's fun. New Japan is having fun this month, and they're bringing in some fun tag teams. The current tag champs are like crazy. Like freaking Ice and Oscar are like awesome. I'm having so much fun, and I'm so glad it's there for me to go watch because sometimes this American wrestling's been a bit weird lately.
Right?
Check it out,
if you want mindless, good wrestling, just watch some Japanese wrestling, watch some Noah, watch some New Japan Pro Wrestling. You're going to get everything you need and then some. We've been talking about John Cena's final match for so long. We have Tanahashi's final match, and I got to ask you, who will be his last opponent?
Oh, Tanahashi's last opponent? Nakamura, baby.
That's
Nakamura.
who I think
I'm
is.
Put it out there now, Nakamura, because his contract might even be up soon. I don't know. Nakamura though.
Nakamura. Yep.
But it might be an AEW guy. They do have the relationship there. But dude, Netflix, more and more the rumors coming in that they might be buying Warner Brothers. So who knows what's going on with wrestling in the future? Crazy,
right? I know we haven't touched on the business part of too much. We will very soon, but right now details are scarce. But let's see what happens. But yeah, no, that's a very scary thing. It's kind of like history almost repeating itself. But
imagine sometime in the next year to 18 months before 2027, Netflix buys Warner Brothers. So then AEW somehow has to get dissolved or move off of TV. So now Tony Khan has AEW and ROH. Neither of them have television product, but they're like massive rosters with massive backing. And then go back 10 years. This is a what if scenario. And then go back to 2017. In 2017, the idea that AEW would even exist was out of left field. They hadn't even done All In, the 10,000 people.
Yeah.
And now 10 years later, not only have they existed, they've like gone kind of out of and Vince McMahon and the indictments and WWE being bought out and now the AAA merger and like this has been like the craziest freaking 10 years of like wrestling insanity. In 2017, wrestling was like hard. You could barely watch it. It was
it was one company
and disgusting
with a monopoly.
And now,
thank God we had ROH at that time. Thank God we had New Japan Pro Wrestling at that time. But yeah, there wasn't much to watch.
Yeah. New Japan was just starting to come down from the peak. ROH was in like the midst of their Sinclair, like tightening of the belt stuff. So like that was a bad time for wrestling. But yeah, ROH. Man, what are they going to do with ROH? There's another roundtable for us. I was thinking we like skipped the Monet thing. We should just do what are they going to do with ROH? But anyways, I got a million things to talk about, Boris. I can keep going and going and going, man. You want to talk about New Japan some more or whatever? What about AAA? What about Chelsea Green and Ethan Page the new AAA mixed tag champs? You're going to go there.
Ethan Page, Chelsea Green, mixed tag team champions happened over the weekend. Oh, this pairing is so good. can we just move Ethan Page to the main roster? Like this is it's almost almost criminal. It's criminal that he's not
Yeah,
there.
they might bring him up as part of her like cabinet, right? But he's doing great things in NXT right now. Not that you want to stay there, but that was the best match on that last pay-per-view against Wagner. And you know, I don't know, just pay him more, pay him main roster, and then do whatever you want with him. The man deserves it. You know, that's why Josh Alexander isn't in NXT, because he needed a payday with like time missed from surgeries and neck stuff and TNA and waiting for his visa and like with a family. He's like, just give me a contract for a couple years, Tony, and fill my bank account. And then maybe I'll follow Ethan up to the main, right? But give Ethan some money, man, because he left AEW, which was probably paying him way more, and he's come to NXT, and he's that man has been taking chances since day one. Trained himself. Got some training from Rob and SCL and the guys here locally that I work with, but really trained himself, has always taken chances on himself, ran his own company, moved to the States, AEW, now NXT. Give this man a big paycheck. Even if you don't even if you shit on him and give him nothing, which I hope they don't do because he should be main event of WrestleMania one day. But if like at least give him main event roster money, this man deserves it.
Absolutely. Chelsea Green just re-signed a new contract, apparently 5 years.
She bloody deserves it.
That's exactly it. They both deserve it. There you go. Oh, Canada, right there, AAA. Let's stick with AAA for a second. Right. And I mentioned this earlier, but I was watching videos of their show from last night, and honestly, their biggest face right now, outside of Dominik, is probably El Gran Americano. Like, this is unreal. I would have never thought, like, I thought he would be a super heel, but the Mexicans love him. And you know why they love him? They loved him as soon as he opened his mouth, started talking Spanish, started singing in Spanish. Like, the Mexicans just took that in.
I'm not even Mexican, and I love him. Like, who would have imagined he'd have done a better job than Chad Gable? You would have never thought that, but he just like slid right in there, and he loves it. And like, this could be his like gimmick for life. Axel Dieter Jr. or whatever. Like, what was his WWE name? I can't even remember his damn name now. Kaiser just sounds like, isn't that the second guy you job out in Mike Tyson? Screw that shit. This freaking El Grande Americano is amazing. And you know what? I'm hopped up on the caffeine. I want a double Venti Grande Americano. Well, you can't really have a Venti Grande, can you? And I just made it up. It's happening. That's how big he is. That's how great he is. And it's awesome. It's freaking awesome. He's so good. He's good in the ring. He really is. And he's so fluent. And the singing. And he's like dating like a freaking Latina now. He's like, sorry, Trish. Sorry, Tiffy. You got a bum knee. I need a girl that can go.
I love it. They're dancing around, having fun. I'm really looking forward to the next AAA show that we can watch here stateside on YouTube or wherever. But yeah, no, it's great seeing this.
Yeah, that was on like HBO
Max in Mexico. Yeah.
And that's where AEW's on HBO, bro. Ugh. We're all just in the Matrix. Like, we think we have a choice, but it's all just like,
yeah, exactly it. That's exactly it. All right, there we go. That is the rundown of the week that was, our thoughts about stuff. Next week, well, man, we have a lot to talk about because next week we probably will go a little deeper into blood and guts. We'll have a better idea on the Full Gear card and, well, whatever WWE's planning to do this week because, well, I think this week is a huge week for WWE. You have a lot of new champions. You got CM Punk in there. What's next for Punk? What's next for Uso? What's next for Cody? Tons on the go. We don't even know the War Games matches yet. They haven't even talked about those yet. War Games happening in like 3 weeks. So tons of talk about over the next few weeks in WWE and AEW.
You think it's going to be the MFTs? It's going to be Solo's boys in there against
like the Wyatt Sick,
something, eh?
Probably.
Wyatt Sick, yeah, that's what'll be happening. Yeah, makes sense. It's weird, like, Tama Tonga looks great in his makeup, and so does even Tonga Loa. The other guys all look weird, especially Jeff Cobb looks really weird in the makeup. Tonga Tala looks weird because he's just got like the two straight lines. It's like if you look at early Road Warriors and early Sting makeup, like it took them a while to get used to it. But Tonga and Loa, they got it down pat. They got their little like red, like square, like triangles over their eyes, and like they got it all down pat. Where the other guys kind of look like they're slapping it on. It's like, yo, aren't these your brothers? Aren't you guys all related?
Help them out.
Like help these guys out. Come on, like pull Jeff Cobb aside like a chick at a bar and tell her that her makeup looks like shit, and you like, here, let me help you with your makeup. Okay, Tommy really likes you, but God, you know, Look at the state of you, girl. Like, come on, help Jeff Cobb out. Like, he looks really weird.
There we go. Hutch, where can we find all of your great work?
At Hutch Henry's, pretty much on every platform. We're trying to figure out exactly what we're doing moving forward with this podcast and with some other stuff. But the Jade Cargill squash match has inspired me that I'm going to be doing some squash match reviews. If you want, Boris, you can watch a squash match with me. I got some of the most notorious squash matches that have ever existed in wrestling all ready to go. I got a Terry Funk one where he like squeals like a pig while like kicking the shit out of this guy. Like, it's awesome. We're going to watch that with a watch along as well as some other stuff. And yeah, there's something else that we would just mention a second ago, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to be doing a video on that as well. But yeah, been a bit behind on the videos, kind of banking them on the Hutch Henry's channel so I can release them all in kind of a succession. But yeah, go check out that stuff there. And if you've been watching this long, hopefully if you're not on the Podbean or listening to this, maybe you're on the channel right now. And thanks so much for still being here.
Exactly.
Where can they find you, Boris? I never asked you that. Where can they find all your great work?
They can great work. Where they can find my work, you can.
That's what you just said to me, and I went with it.
I know. You can go to your favorite podcasting app and search for A+ Wrestling. That's where you get this show and so much more. As Hutch mentioned, we're going to be tweaking things. We're going to be figuring things out. We're going to be doing a lot of great stuff here on A+ Wrestling, or whatever it's going to be called moving down the road. But that is where you can find us. Hit the subscribe, leave a review. That all helps us.
If you're on the Facebook
and the algorithms.
You want to leave. Sorry, Boris. If you're on the Facebook, you want to leave a comment or a question or whatnot. We're thinking about maybe doing a roundtable where we are looking for some subjects. We want to talk about what's the future of Monet and her 12 titles. How do you get out of this without making everybody look bad? We're thinking about talking about the future of ROH. What would you do with ROH to make it a palatable and powerful brand? Like, what would you do? Like, obviously, it's kind of crap now, right? It's just a few other things. If you have any ideas of topics that we should talk about, how do you rehabilitate Drew McIntyre if he loses another match? Or does he go into the Cena tournament and lose somewhere in the tournament there? Like, what's going on with Drew McIntyre? How would you rehabilitate him? So there's 3 topics: ROH, Monet, Drew McIntyre. If you want us to talk about one of these with someone, like, maybe we'll bring in Tempest from Wrestle Talk. He's a buddy of mine. Or maybe you can bring in Brian Solomon again. We've discussed this with people. So if you're on the Facebook, let us know what you'd like to see, and maybe we'll use that as our first topic. What do you think, Boris?
There we go.
Ask the people.
Facebook.com and search for A+ Productions, and that's where you can find everything and be part of the conversation. Hutch, as always, it has been great. This has been a good distraction from the bullshit day that it has been. Always a pleasure to chat with you. Not only wrestling.
And my clone is almost done the dishes. So
there you go.
Yeah,
motherfucker, keep scrubbing.
El Clon.
Thank you so much for joining us. We will be back next week. Take care, everyone. But most importantly, stay tranquilo.